Hi there, good afternoon. Welcome to this very first episode of McFreedom Mindset, where I'm going to share with you the years and years of experience that I gained from McDonald's and also working with small businesses over the last years. Next weeks and months it's going to be very informal. I'm going to be putting my glasses on and off because I can't see who's watching or whether they're leaving any questions. So let's just go for it. So why McFreedom? What on earth is this McFreedom all about? Well, McFreedom is a little nod to McDonald's with the Mc, a little nod to McDonald's who inspired it, and freedom because that's what the McFreedom system will give you. Freedom to scale, grow, franchise, or sell your business, or even run it from a beach somewhere if that's what you really want to do. So that's the McFreedom part. The mindset really is because that's what this is actually all about. You know, people have a very strange mindset around systemizing their business. Generally they see it as really hard work. It's something that they have to do in addition to their day job. And it's not something that really rocks their boat. If it's any consolation, I personally have a hatred may be a bit strong, particularly as I wrote a book called Process to Profit, but I really don't like the word process because of what it inspires in people. It makes them think of bureaucracy and box ticking and all of that really boring, soul-destroying stuff. And really, that's not what any of this is about. This is all about making your life easier. And that's what I mean about your mindset. You need to change your mindset around it. And there are things I like to call, it's a third, mindset is a third of what I like to call my Big Mac. What a surprise. Mindset, because you really do need to change your mindset around this. Action, because you absolutely, what is the point in learning something new if you don't take action about it? And then consistency, because you need to be consistent with this stuff. You need to make it routine, you need to follow it, if not religiously, with a real fervour and a relish and a belief that it's going to make your life that much easier. So mindset, action, consistency, the Big Mac. So, as I say, next weeks and months we're going to be sharing a lot of good stuff with you. But we're going to start today with a question, and that is, who do you follow? You know, who inspires you? Whose blogs do you look out for? Whose podcast are you signed up to? Who would you pay good money to go and see live? You know, is it Gary Vee? Is it Robin Sharma? Is it Michael Gerber? Who is it that inspires you? And why do they inspire you? What is it about them and the way they are? And it's not just because they're successful, because there are hundreds of people who are successful and you don't follow all of those. You are very picky and choosy, I'm guessing, about who you follow. So what is it about them? When I think about who I follow, it's because they have a really clear purpose. They have a really clear vision. They know where they're going. There's a real sense of direction, and it's consistent. They're consistent in their messaging, they're consistent in their behaviours and their actions. Everything about them is driving towards one clear destination. You know, if you think about Richard Branson, you know, Sir Richard Branson, beg my pardon. People have followed Richard Branson for decades. Why? Well, because he is constantly driving towards that goal, that vision of taking on the big boys and doing what they do better than they can do it themselves, providing better service, giving a great customer experience. You know, has he got it wrong? Well, you know, the jury's still out on Virgin Trains, but actually his intention with Virgin Trains was absolutely on purpose, on message, part of his vision. Now, who follows you? And why do they follow you? Do your clients really believe in you? Do your clients understand what the big picture is? Do your team understand what the big picture is? You think about it. You may have even been in your car this morning. When you get into your car, what do? You get in, sit down, sit down. Of course you sit down. It's a standing up car anyway. You get in, you shut your door, you put your seatbelt on, you start your engine, put it into gear unless you've got automatic, and off you go. Now, I am willing to bet my house and everything in it that before you drove off, you knew where you were going, that you had a really clear destination in mind. You didn't just get in the car and go, well, I'll drive, I'll get somewhere at some point. Absolutely not. For a longer journey, you'll have worked out where you're going, how you're going to get there, how long the journey is going to be with and without traffic, where you're stopping for a coffee or a break. And even when you're diverted through no fault of your own, you still know where you're going. You still end up at the destination because that's what you planned for. That's the route that you plan to take. Whether you're going round the houses, you still get to the destination. That sort of planning, that sort of thought goes into every journey you take. Even if it happens in a nanosecond these days because, you go to the shops or whatever. But you think about where you're going. You always know where you're going. Why do we not know that for our business? Why do we not put the same sort of thought into where we're going with our business? Your destination, your vision is your destination. It is that end point. And then everything that we do should lead towards that destination. You should always be able to answer the question, what am I trying to achieve and why? You're heading in one clear destination. And the thing with vision, I've been into a lot of small businesses since I left McDonald's. And one thing that's been very consistent is the lack of clarity around the vision. That's been really consistent. Very few business owners really have sat down and thought about exactly where they're going, what it looks like, what that end point looks like, what success looks like. And ideally, your vision should be a goose-bump-giving, inspiring picture of your future. For many businesses, it's this is what we do. This is what we do. That's their vision. This is what we do, and this is how big we're going to be. Now, your vision is for 3 different groups of people. Your vision is for you, to inspire you, to motivate you, to keep you on track, to get you out of bed in the morning, excited for the day ahead. It's for your clients to know that you're right for them, that they're with somebody who gives a monkeys about them, who is taking them where they want to go. Most importantly though, it's for your team. It's for your team who will be inspired and who will want to follow you, will want to follow your lead, who will be excited to work for you, who will be telling people that they work for you. People want to work for Virgin. People want to work for Richard Branson, even though Richard Branson has diddly squat to do on a day-to-day basis with Virgin. But they know where they're going. They know what it's all about. Now, if I'm asked one question more than any other, it is, how do you get people in your business to do what you want them to do in the way that you want them to do it? Well, it actually starts with having a really clear vision, because you'll hire people who buy into that vision. You'll hire people who get excited by where they're going. That's what I'm saying about Virgin. Virgin recruitment's dead easy. People want to work for Virgin. People who work for Virgin tell other people about working for Virgin. John Lewis the same. Lots of businesses. You probably know businesses yourself that people who are really keen to get in there. Apple might be another one. So what can you do to inspire? How can you change your vision? How can you make it goosebump giving? If you do one thing today, it is get out your vision, if you've actually ever written one down, get it out and have a look at it. If you've never written a vision down, spend some time this week thinking about what would give you goosebumps. What is it about your destination that gets you excited? If it doesn't get you excited, think about whether you're in the right business maybe. But your vision absolutely should excite you, and it should excite your people. It should excite people who you're looking to hire. So get out your vision, have a look at it, make it goosebump giving. And if you want to send it to me, I'll be more than happy to give you feedback on it. I love giving feedback on people's business visions. Do that this week. There are actually 3 things I want you to do. First is to do that. Second is to watch out for an offer on my new book, which is, I'm sorry, I haven't done this the right way, so this is going to be back to front again, but it does actually say Simple, Logical, Repeatable. That's what it says there. This is going to fill in the gaps for you. This is going to put the meat on the bones of what we talk about in these sessions. So it's definitely worth looking out for the very special offer, very small price on a Kindle that's coming up in the next week or so. So get yourself a copy of that. And then the third thing is to come along next week, where we're going to look closer at how you can hire the perfect person for you first time. Everybody's nirvana. Because let's face it, businesses are full of people who should never have been hired in the first place or have never been right. I often ask a question, so who would you hire? Who would you rehire tomorrow if you were given the chance? Sadly, it's not 100%. It's never 100%. So have a think about that. Come back next week. So your 3 things. First, get that vision sorted. Send it through to me if you want any feedback at all. 2, watch out for the offer on the Kindle version of the book Simple, Logical, Repeatable. 3, come back next week and we'll do some more. We'll do this again. Have a great week. Have fun. To your McFreedom. See you again. Bye.